A very good evening to each one of you, and thank you so much for joining us here yet again in one another member spotlight series. So, from transforming organizations to shaping the leaders for tomorrow, Dr. Shriman Sarkar's journey is a masterclass in how strategy meets the purpose. And in this episode of Mentor My Board Member Spotlight, we uncover what it truly takes to lead with wisdom, humility, and the impact in an ever changing business world. So stay tuned to learn how the board leaders can future proof their vision and authenticate the leadership and strategic foresight in their vision for growth and sustainability, of course. So, with this small brief, Dr. Shriram, a very warm welcome to you for this, member spotlight series of Mentor My Board. I think this is the 52nd episode that we are doing, and I'm so glad to welcome you here.
Thank you, Nehaji. Thank you, MMB. I am Dr. Shriman Sarkar. I am very much glad to have this opportunity.
Great. Uh, Doctor, you are a doctor by education or it is by the PhD doctor? So, please clarify that for the viewers as well.
By education, I am doctor,
All
and
right.
you may know that we have three patches of medicine in our country. One is the very known allopathic, and
Right.
other as the Ayurvedic and homeopathic. So I have done my graduation with the homeopathic medicine and surgery.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, being a doctor, right, you would have observed a lot of similarities between the human body and the corporate mode of operations. So, both being very complex, or how is your take on it? What do
Yes.
you think about it?
See, I have observed a very thin relationship in both of the organization because in human body we also say the organ system, and there is two words, organ and system, and in corporate we have the other two words, organization and system. So you can say that uh, cash flow in a company, cash flow in human body we can easily relate it to the blood flow. It is so much vital. Like blood flow is so much vital. It is required in every state, everywhere in the body, and in an organization, cash flow is the same thing. So I have just uh, concluded some points like that, and I want to share it with you. In every body, we have that blood flow, and you can relate the heart as the investor or the main, the shareholders of the organization, whereas the brain will be like CXO or CEO or CFO who run the whole thing. And what is the place of directors or ID? So I would prefer them to be called as kidneys because they filter out all the flaw in any decision, like the kidney do the job in our body.
Absolutely. Very interesting analogy, I feel. Very interesting. I've heard the blood and the cash flow analogy, but the remaining two were equally interesting and, thought provoking as well. So that is great. And in your career, it spans from academia, consulting, leadership roles. So, which of these is most fascinating for you, and how does this diverse journey help you shape the way you look at leadership and governance?
I will say that diversification is a very important for understanding the need of adaptation in today's ever-changing, challenging world. It is very important to have the adaptation capability. And as you can see in my journey, I have a lots of diversification. So that give me a broader view to each and everything. Even in the boardroom, more you have diversification in your views, that will help you to understand the challenge and to solve it with a new perspective. So in my thought, it is very much important to have that leadership quality. For being a leader, you need to have a different view that will solve the issue.
Absolutely. So, what is your favorite style of leadership, if I can ask you? Because you mentioned about leadership, which style do you follow in leadership?
What do you mean by style?
So
Like,
there are situational leadership styles. There are, there are various styles that people follow during, their leadership tenures. So which one is your favorite? I mean, what do you follow as a leader?
if you want to know about any idol or any person whom I like to follow, then I will just say one name. That is, that Mr. Ratan Tata. So I follow him for leadership style because he always show that diversification view,
Hmm. Interesting.
solving issues with the employee. He goes to them, sit with them on the ground and understand their problem.
Hmm.
Then make a path to solve it. So, in my opinion, leaders should always be like that, who are the person to solve the issues, not to create that one or not to make that one bigger, but to
Correct.
solve.
Great. So I feel more kind of a democratic and transformational leadership is what you follow, basically, the way you mentioned that, helping people to manage their own things and, empowering them to manage their own things. So maybe more democratic and a transformational way wherein you can help them solve their challenges and, bring out something new in them every time.
Yeah, Nehaji, we are in a democratic country.
Great. Absolutely, absolutely. So, you also mentioned about strategic leadership, right? So, in your
Yeah.
words, what really makes a leader strategic in today's fast-changing, unpredictable business world?
Uh, is- by strategy, I think that strategies are your best companion, best friend. You consider be it a forever. Like whenever there is a situation you face challenges, these strategies will guide you, will keep you on the lane to your goal and your success. So these strategies are the hand which always make sure that you can be on the path. And there are various blind spots. We say that blind spots like it could be of anything like cognitive biases or anything like excessive belief or overconfidence. But if you keep to your strategy, those things are just minor ones.
Interesting. Um, and while you're mentioning that, you are a leader, right? So you've mentored, you've guided so many other leaders over the past years. So what are those some common blind spots or black holes or maybe negativities that you see among the CXOs when it comes to decision making, or you see among senior leaders when it comes to decision making? What is it that they are unable to figure out, or maybe not very savvy with? So what are those aspects that you feel?
See, normally, first, this is a very broad thing because what I found, many leaders they are being very much biased with the opinion. Like they really sometimes they rely totally on the first piece of information they have received, and that we call that kind of bias is cognitive biases. And also they are ignoring that conflicting evidences. Like if someone is coming with a new thought and there is already the leader is on the bias mode, so I will go with this one. So that is a thing of thing. And another bias is like there are you can say that that is the boardroom silence. In a boardroom, if silence, that word remains. Like it may be due to anything like you are not known to the fact, afraid to speak, you avoid conflict, or you may have your own doubts. But these all things lead to that blind spots. And the one thing that is important that I say in first, that is the diversification, a diverse perspective. It is very much important. I will rather say it, if you are not diverse in your opinion, then you are in a captured in a bubble, and you are not going to call anyone from outside, any consultancy from outside, or you are also avoiding the board diversity. Then you will only remain with the tunnel vision, only focusing on short-term matrices, and that will not lead you to your strategic goal, long-term goals. So that is the thing for those black holes.
Interesting. And definitely, considering the organizational transformation, which is never very easy, right? Yet it's something that you in your career have successfully driven multiple times, right? So what do you think is the board's role or the role of the senior team members or the CXOs when a company is going through such major changes?
Changes always bring you challenges, and those times are very much important. So, in my opinion, in such scenario, focus should be on selecting a right CEO. And now, not say the perfect, because nobody is perfect. It is a process, but to select a right CEO along with the redefining the vision for strategy. You may know that there is a vision for strategy, and that has to be redefined at that time by the board. Scrutinizing execution plan, monitoring those plans, and ensuring the success. So, if you can be resilient and manage risk, then we can find the opportunity out of those risks.
Interesting. So, what I understand from what you've said is that if you can empower your team more and more who can manage these kind of situations, it is easier for them to kind of navigate through the challenges, and the organization also is successfully able to kind of, navigate through the situation, right?
For empowering, we need learning,
Interesting.
continuous learning. Learning
True.
never ends, and learning always pays you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Very true. Very true.
The that team, if leaders show that they are very much keen to learn, then the entire team will may inspire from them. And if you facilitate it in your organization to have such a way to get more learning, which are which are very much relevant to your organization, that will keep the entire workforce up to date, updated.
True. So what happens is a lot of times people who have passed or cleared their IICA examination come to us and tell us that, I've done my IICA and now I need a board position. And once they become a board member, they completely stop learning, which I feel is a deterrent because once before getting there, definitely there is a lot of knowledge that is required in terms of becoming an independent director. But once you have become an independent director, it is even the more essential for you to learn each day, learn every time, because of so many reasons, around us, the geopolitical situations, the industry changes that are happening that keep coming up, the AI, the risk, the strategy. I mean, there is so much to understand and learn about. I mean, you can be an expert in finance, but you might not know AI, or you can be an expert maybe in AI and tech and may or may not know leadership. You may not know
You
HR.
you will remain out of the mainstream. Even the IICA course, that course of the IICA, they also say that line at the first and in the last, that you should keep on updating you.
Absolutely. So
Keep
that is clearing
wisdom.
that examination possibly is just the first step I would say, towards your journey or towards the end goal of being a board leader who can contribute effectively every time. But having taken that first step, it cannot be your last step. You continuously keep on learning, nurturing, enhancing your skills, speaking to people, understanding what is going on in this, in the industry, in the markets, so on and so forth. So yes, I completely agree. And
Found that I want to say one thing. I have found that some organization they want board members who only know about that on their line. I mean, they are doing some engineering work. They want only the board members who are engineers. Who are already engineers, then pass out the IICA, may or may not be. But if they keep on that way, I think that will narrow the view. That will narrow the view focus on the short term basis because
absolutely
you will not have the diversification, the diverse view, the diverse thought that will only be you will be able to get that one if you allow in your diverse people.
true. So we had been speaking to a lot of regulators, and there was this one common topic which came up while we were discussing with them. And they mentioned that a lot of companies today do not have women directors on boards. Majority of them being PSUs as well. But then, yes, there are a lot of companies. They are paying fine, but they do not have women directors on boards. And when they are asked that, why don't you have a women director? Uh, the majority of the times, the reason that comes up is that our industry is so niche and so narrow that there are hardly any women leaders in this industry, and hence we do not have a woman board leader, which in itself is not very relevant because there must be a mix of good board leaders with good skill sets on your board, and not only from the domain expertise that your industry belongs to or that your organization belongs to. So it is so essential for people to understand that every person on the board may not be technical. Every person on the board may not be from your industry. The
Yeah,
majority of the times, an independent director's view would be an outside in perspective. Hence,
that,
to
that is
nurture
the
the
independent director, na? Or independent director. That is the word. You are not supposed to execute anything in an organization. Being an ID, you are not supposed to execute anything.
absolutely
You are an engineer. You are not going to put your engineering skills in that way.
right.
So, he cannot go to make the balance sheets being an ID. That the
Right.
IICA teaches to every ID. That is the company law says that is illegal. But being the narrow minded, companies are going with that one.
True, very true.
And
So because we are speaking about AI, because we are speaking about the skills, and the world is talking about ethics, human values. So how do you see or think that the technology is reshaping the boardroom conversations and the way we define these responsible leaderships? What is the role of technology that you see in this new age era?
in my view, I sorry. In my view, I just collaborate both things, AI and human skills. See, AI has some good things, like it is a data driven, very perfect analysis, but it has some limitations and may have some disruptions, which could be only mitigated by human skills. That is called emotional intelligence. So it will be a very good hybrid workforce if you mix both human and AI skills together. Nobody is replacement of anyone. So it will be a good way to just use the technology by mixing both of them. That is my view.
Great, interesting. And I completely agree to what you're saying that both cannot replace each other. and hence having a proper mix, and understanding the right balance for your organization's growth is extremely critical, because either of the sides, if there is an imbalance, then it might be a deterrent to the growth rate that you're looking at. So absolutely agree to what you're saying. And with this as as an understanding, and you're a big believer of continuous learning, which you mentioned earlier as well, right? So how can boards or senior board leaders who are aspiring to get into boards build that learning mindset, because it is not easy for everyone to learn to nurture themselves, and especially when they've already achieved so much. So those unconscious biases that keep coming up, whether do I need to again be in that whirlwind, learn, relearn, and unlearn. So how is it that you take this?
See, in my own career, when I passed out and I joined with the industry of insurance, so after that, after some few initial learning, I stopped learning. Okay, and then the time passes out. Then suddenly I realized that if I do not learn, what will happen? What will happen to me? What will happen to the organization? So being in short term, there is no effect, but in the long term, there will be lot of effect. I will be outdated. I will be outdated from that that whatever stream you are doing.
Absolutely.
So if seniors of any industry thought that we have achieved so much and we do not need any further achievement, then I think they are already retired. They are already retired from their mindset because there is a completion. You know, where there is a peak, and after that, what comes? Downfall.
Absolutely.
Do not go on further peak. So learning is that tool which will lead you to furthermore. If this thing is understood by seniors, I also respect them. But if they understand this, so I think they will get that mindset. And also there is one more mindset that if the seniors do, then their juniors will follow them. They will
So
also learn, and your company will grow. Your company will keep on growing. So if you can learn, you should learn unless you are retired from your mindset. Because the message created from that senior boardroom level and it percolates down to the down channel to the lowest level of the workforce, and
true.
everybody will follow that.
Right. So, what would be your one piece of advice for the young leaders who aspire to reach to higher levels? What would you like to tell them?
One piece of advice, although it is not possible to be in one piece, but I will say that one word, which will be very good in my opinion, that is the accountability.
Interesting.
You should be accountable to your actions. You should know that every action has this opposite reaction, and if you do something, you will get something. So if you do something good, you will get something good.
Hmm.
So you should be accountable to your actions, every action. Whether you are in your life or you are in your board, whatever decision they will take, that will make. Suppose Eicher Motor took a decision that they are going to purchase that bike. Okay,
Yeah.
so that will make Eicher Motor goes up,
Right.
triple up. So that was their decision. They were very much sure that we are going to make it out of that.
Right.
Another
And then,
decision, product decide not to diversify, not to go to digitalize, and everybody knows what happened to the product.
true.
That's
Right. So you rightly said that every action will have a reaction. And thinking about the reaction, we need to plan our actions better so that we get those desired reactions what we have thought of possibly, right? Interesting. And as a part of the community of Mentor My Board, so what does this network mean to you, and how do you see it helping or shaping the next generation of impactful leaders, directors?
See, for me, MMB is not a platform, neither a bridge that is making a gap between the corporate and the ID. But for me, it is like just that word already in your MMB. That is the word. That is the womb, a mother's womb. So it is nurturing us, giving us all the requirement, all the nutrition properly that we need to be
Oh,
the person.
nice.
So for me, it's like my just another mother womb.
That is such a powerful thought, such a powerful thought. Thank you so much. I mean, you gave it a new perspective altogether, and really a different one. I wouldn't have thought of, Mentor My Board community in this way, but thank you for sharing it. Wonderful.
For
So
the-
this, yeah, sorry.
Thank you for the wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. So, with this, we come to the end of this wonderful conversation with Dr. Sriram. Thank you, Dr. Sriram, for sharing such practical and thought provoking insights with us. And for all our listeners out here, if today's conversation sparked some ideas on leadership and governance, you'll be interested that we are doing city-wise directors meet of Mentor My Board, where promoters, founders, independent directors who are already on boards of companies, and aspiring directors, along with professionals, all come together in one room with power packed discussions, real challenges being discussed, best practices from the organizations being brought to the table, and the mentoring opportunities coming up. We recently hosted our directors meet in Bangalore, in Chennai, and last in Hyderabad, maybe 3 days back. Our upcoming meet is on the 13th of November and it is in Jaipur. So, if you are in and around Jaipur, and even if you're not, and if you wish to participate, do join in to our directors meet. All the details will be shared to you in the link below. And if you're looking to engage with peers to gain those insightful, actionable insights for your boardrooms and strengthen your practices in the boardrooms, I would strongly recommend joining us in our directors meet as well. With this, we really come to an end of this wonderful interaction with Dr. Shriman Sarkar. And thank you so much for joining us once again, and have a great evening. Bye bye. Thank you.